The Divine Comedy of Dante was inspired by a little girl, only 9 years of age when her beauty first impressed the poet. Beatrice died at the age of 24, and Dante's plan to immortalize her resulted in one of the most stupendous achievements of human genius, the Inferno. Dante imagines himself lost in a dark and gloomy wood. He sees the summit of a mountain lighted up by the sun. This is the hill of salvation which he endeavors to ascend. Dante's way is barred by 3 wild beasts, a panther symbolizing avarice, a lion symbolizing pride, and a she-wolf symbolizing lust. Beatrice, the ideal of Dante, descends from paradise into limbo, and asks Virgil, a pious poet, to rescue and guide Dante. Virgil reveals himself to Dante, delivers him from all danger, and bids him follow him to the portals of the Inferno. Through me you pass into the city of woe. Through me you pass into eternal pain. Through me, among the people lost for aye, all hope abandoned, you who enter here. The river Acheron, over which Charon ferries the souls of the dead. As he approaches the condemned souls on the bank of the river, he threatens them. Woe unto you, wicked spirits, hope not to see the light of day again. Dante is overcome at the dreadful spectacle of the condemned souls going to their doom. Dante hesitates to go further. Virgil reassures him. Dante sees those who in the great rebellion were neither for God nor against him, but for themselves only. Heaven has driven them out, and hell will not receive them, lest the accursed tribe should glory with exultation vain. Ovid and Lucanus come forward to greet Virgil. He explains to them the nature of Dante's mission in the Inferno. The abiding place of those of blameless lives who died before the coming of Christ. Virgil points out to Dante poets, philosophers, statesmen, men of science confined here. They live without hope. Each guilty soul appears before the judge Minos, who assigns to it the punishment. He allows the poets to pass on. carnal sinners are blown around by every gust of wind. The stormy blasts of hell with restless fury drives them on. The poet sees punished Cleopatra, Dido, Queen of Carthage, and Helen of Troy. Then Francesca da Rimini and her lover Paolo reveal themselves to Dante. The story of Francesca da Rimini. One day, for our delight, we read of Lancelot, how him love thrilled. Alone we were, and no suspicion near us. Then he at once my lips all tremblingly kissed. In the book that day we read no more. The gluttons tortured by eternal rain as they lie prone upon the ground. Dante recognizes a noted glutton named Chiaccio from Florence. The poet inquires as to whether any other Florentiners are punished in the Inferno. Chiaccio replies that there are many, but of deeper guilt and in the lower circles. Pluto on guard over the misers and spendthrifts. He is enraged at the sight of Dante, but is powerless to harm him. The misers and spendthrifts, condemned to roll great bags of gold around their circle of the Inferno. The misers inquire, "Why holdest thou so fast?" To which the spendthrifts reply, "Why castest thou away?" To reach the city of Dis, the inner circle of the Inferno, Virgil signals Phleguius to ferry them across to the other side. Philip Argenti recognizes Dante and tries to strike him. He is repulsed by Virgil. Away, down there to the other dogs. The poet's entrance to the city of Dis is barred by a horde of evil spirits. They prevent the poets from entering, and the three Furies appear on the ramparts of the city. Dante is saved from being turned into stone by placing his hands across his eyes. An angel appears who commands the gates to be thrown open. The swamp of the Styx. Virgil explains to Dante, "Now seest thou some of the souls of those whom anger overcame, fixed in the slime." The heretics, buried in pits of fire. Farinato recognizes Dante's voice and arises from his fiery tomb to speak to him. Cavalcanti asks Dante for news of his son. Dante tells him he is still alive. Farinato predicts to Dante his exile and the bitter ingratitude of his fellow countrymen. Blasphemers are stricken by a rain of fire eternally falling upon them. Capaneus, proud and haughty spirit of antiquity, is denounced by Virgil. The poets descend into the next circle on the back of the monster Geryon. His face the semblance of a just man bore, the rest was serpent all. The sepulchre of a famous heretic. Suicides changed into shrunken and gnarled trees. Dante asks Virgil for an explanation of voices he hears, and he tells him to lop off a twig from one of the trees. Dante does so, and blood gushes forth, and the spirit within reveals itself as Peter of Vigna. Peter of Vigna tells the story of being accused of treason and punished by being deprived of his sight by order of the Emperor Frederick II. After the torture, he tears the bandage from his eyes, hoping to see the light of day once more. In his despair, he dashes out his brains on the dungeon floor. The harpies, foul and obscene birds, pluck at the trees, inflicting pain on the souls imprisoned within. Those who have wasted their means, followed by black mastiffs. Others lashed by demons with great leather thongs. How they made them bound at the first stroke, none for the second wave, nor the third. The river of filth, in which flatterers and dissolutes are immersed, and where they seek in vain to wash themselves clean. summonists who have sold the church's goods for gain, buried head downward, feet upward, and tortured by a fire of great intensity on the soles of their feet. One who had been the head of his church, punished here, is denounced by Dante. Virgil placates the demons on guard in this circle, where those who misappropriated the monies or properties of others are punished by being immersed in a river of boiling pitch. Giampolo of Navarra falls into power of demons who are going to tear him to pieces. He distracts their attention and escapes from them by jumping into the lake of boiling pitch, where the demons are unable to recapture him. Poets fly into the next circle, where the demons are unable to pursue them, as that divine power which gives them control over their own circle will not also permit them to leave it. Hypocrites are compelled to wear great heavy cloaks, which outwardly look gold but inside are all lead. Dante sees the arch-hypocrite Caiaphas, who condemned Christ to death, nailed and crucified to the ground. Dante is anxious to rest, but is urged on by Virgil, who tells him that in case of need, they will have divine help. robbers are bitten by horrible serpents. One of the robbers comes forward to speak to Dante and blasphemes. A serpent coils itself around him, saying, "Be silent, tongue." Grafters and faithless custodians of public funds changed into loathsome and disgusting shapes of animals and reptiles. Fraudulent counselors, evil advisors wrapped in flaming garments. Dante sees amongst others here Ulysses and Diomede. The sowers of discord and the promoters of dissension maimed by demons. Mohammed with his chest torn open. Forgers, falsifiers, alchemists, counterfeiters, changed into lepers, insane and diseased. Dante engages in angry disputes with some he had known in the world above, and finally, rebuked by Virgil, to hear such wrangling is a joy for vulgar minds. The three giants, Nimrod punished for his part in the confusion of the human voice at the Tower of Babel, Ephialtes punished for his rebellion against Jove, and Antaeus, who is requested by Virgil to take them into the next circle. The giant Antaeus takes the two poets in the palms of his hands and places them in the circle below. The traitors of various kinds, punished by being immersed in a lake of ice. Two kinsmen guilty of murderous treachery to each other, butting each other. Traitors to their own country. Dante, enraged at the sight of the traitor Abati, plucks a tuft of hair from his head. Count Ugolino gnawing on the skull of the Archbishop Ruggieri, his jaws uplifting from their fell repast. Count Ugolino relates to Dante how after quarreling with his friend, the Archbishop, he and his children and grandchildren were starved to death in the Tower of Pisa by the order of the Archbishop. The Count sees his family pass away before his eyes, and on the 6th day he alone remained. On the 9th day he passed into the great beyond. Dante sees Friar Albenga, who had quarreled with his own brother, and on pretending to be reconciled to him, invited him to a banquet, and then had him cruelly murdered. The arch-traitor Lucifer, with his 3 mouths in the center, he holds the bodies of Brutus and Cassius. The poets climb down the shaggy sides of the monster Lucifer to reach the subterranean way. The poets leave hell and again behold the stars.